Hey, Dennis here. I want to welcome you back to the channel, and today I'm in a place called Three Rivers, and I wasn't completely sure that we were going to be able to paint here today because Michigan is experiencing some pretty severe flooding. I think we got a ton of rain, and the ground was still frozen, so the river's really filled up, and so they're kind of busting their banks. I was just on my way to search for where I'm going to paint today, which I think I know where that is, and I paint frequently with Carrie Lynn, and so I wanted to just introduce you to her, and we were just talking about her sketch and a little bit about composition. And Carrie, I was wondering if you employ a color strategy when you're starting a painting, like when you're viewing the scene. Do you have an idea immediately of what you're going to do, or does it come to you as you're painting?
Normally when I look at that and during my sketch, I got some idea. The composition wise, the color wise, normally I wouldn't want to do more than 3 color.
Okay.
So that's my basic, and then we will start from there.
Are any of those usually complements, like to create grays, or?
Yeah, I normally for like this instant or this our leaf color, a lot of yellow, but not really yellow. It's kind of grayish yellow. I will mix the Bersiana with the blue, some kind of blue to get the gray color of that. And then, with a little bit blue sky and the water, that will combine pretty good.
All right. If we're allowed to have favorites, Carrie is one of my favorites, so.
Hi.
All right, so I'm ready to get going, and I've got a sketch here, and this is the scene that I've chosen. I'm basically looking the same way that Carrie is, just from a little bit different direction. And there's it's very flat light and pretty much colorless, but you know how it goes. There's definitely color in there. You just have to look for it. So I'll get going here, and let's see what we can do with this. In the beginning of this painting, what I'm trying to do here is just establish this water just by using kind of the darkest thing I can see in the water, which is actually the reflections. So I'm laying that in, and then going and pulling up some of the reeds and grassy areas that are along the edges, just to sort of define the edge early so I don't lose track of it later. In this part of the painting, I'm actually about to make a big mistake, and that is cutting these branches this far across the sky area before the sky is fully developed.
just was not a good thing, because I was either going to have to completely wipe it out to redevelop the sky or work around all of this, which was really not the best scenario. Here I'm starting to work the edges of the bank by pulling these grasses up a little higher and adding some highlights and some darks sort of down by the water. And you can also see that I've started to bring up the value in the water itself. I've made a decision here that I'm actually going to really push the value of this distant tree line really light, and I'm actually this is just clearly for effect, but I'm moving away from kind of the natural color that I saw into just more of a blue violet to create sort of a foggy sort of light atmosphere. And it was very cloudy and overcast with just some hints of light peeking through. So I think this was probably a good decision, and in the end I was actually quite happy with the results of this. Last things to do here was to create these lighter values in the water, and one of the things that I'm doing is keeping the strokes vertical at this point so that I can then bring the highlights that are on the water horizontal across these vertical strokes.
I am losing light really fast, so I'm gonna have to stop here. But I actually I'm actually pretty happy with this. You'll see, well, actually you've already seen because this is the end of the video, but you probably noticed how much struggling I was doing in the beginning, but eventually I got a hold of it, and I'm actually pretty excited about this one. I think I may add maybe some more secondary branches, maybe not. They're really probably not that important because of the scene beyond that is so beautiful, but I'll think about that later. But in general, this is what I got, and I think it's pretty cool. And I broke some of my own rules, but did it on purpose, so at least I know about it. And so I don't know what that means, but anyway, thanks for checking out my video as always. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and I will catch you later.